Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening and welcome to our call for tonight. And this is going to be a bit of a rebroadcast that we're doing of one that I did before. And the main reason for that is that, we talked about PLR before, and I'm going to get to that here in this session. We're going to be talking about Gumroad here. And so let's without further ado, now you can see that the URL says Tuesday training when it's really our weekend Q&A. And so we're going to revisit this idea of how to get your best ideas and products up and running online. And for you all who are resellers, PLR users, coaches, make sure to get the added training at the end of the session. And it's going to be important because I'm going to be covering some things that I covered before. So let's go back and talk about selling products online. And when you want to get something up and running online, there's always going to be something more than getting your message right. There are a number of things that you've got to do, and there's just no way around it. There is no just overcoming everything by taking action and you'll just figure everything out and everything's going to come out okay. You may do all those things, but in order for a sale to happen and for a customer to get everything, there are some things that you actually do have to get right, and that the customer has to have a certain limited number of experiences. Now, they don't have to all be great experiences, but there are some things that do have to happen. And you're going to have to think that, even if you have all of the right sales copy and the right sales video, and you get somebody to actually hit the buy button, if you're going to have that happen a second time with that very same customer, again, there are going to have to be some things that you're going to have to get right. And these things are not only need to be right for the sake of you, right, making a sale, but they've also got to be right for your potential customer. Because anytime somebody invests with you, they're investing with you because they think you're going to solve this problem that you said you're going to be able to solve. They trusted you, whether they know you or not. And so you want to make sure that at minimum, right, everything that was supposed to happen, everything that you promised in the sales process, it actually happens. And these little series of things, sometimes they frustrate people. I know people who they have experience, they have great things that they want to get across. And I'm talking strictly, let's say, about informational products right now. They feel as if they've got something valuable that they want to communicate with someone. They can really help people. But all of these little things that they've got to get right, they tend to be the things that they sort of get people either intimidated, or they're the things that keep people from actually getting started. Now, there are some online platforms. We're going to talk about one here tonight that do understand this. And so what they've done is they simplified things so that all of the barriers are removed in order to get something sold. Whether this is going to be an information product where you're teaching somebody something, or this is even going to be something where, you might have, a physical product that you're selling, or both in some cases. And so the platform we're going to be talking about is Gumroad, because out of all the platforms where you can get started selling things online, you can actually get started without having a lot of knowledge of the entire process that I've been talking about here. And so I guess one of the things right off the bat is free to get started. So you don't really have to have a lot of money to get started selling something. And again, that's a barrier. If you've got to start paying out a lot of money before you even get started selling, sometimes that's a barrier to somebody being able to create and sell information. Gumroad's a free platform to get started, so you don't have to worry about any of those things. It doesn't require that you have a specific payment system. Some people have, maybe they've got Stripe, some people have PayPal, some people have, their own merchant account, and they've got all these things in order to make sales, whether they be online or offline. You don't have to have those things with Gumroad to get started. And again, that is a unique benefit to being able to get started on this platform, whatever it is that you are selling. It doesn't have to require that you have hosting for your products. So if you're going to be delivering something that's going to be just a document, and that document's got the information that your customer needs, you don't have to host that document in order to sell that document to your customer. Now, in many cases, you're going to be selling more than that. Maybe you're going to be selling videos, you're going to be selling, audios, you're going to be selling more than just, a document. But in some other cases, what your customer needs is going to be on a document, on a PDF document. You can deliver all that without having to have a special hosting account. And so, if you're going to be using, let's say, Dropbox or, something like Google Drive or any of those things, I mean, you can use all those things. They're going to be free to use. But if you don't have any of those things, you can get started using Gumroad in order to sell, some kind of product with information in it. And in fact, the whole platform is self-containing. So if you want to make your sales presentations, you don't have to have some kind of special page building system to do a sales presentation. If you want to deliver the product, you don't have to have a special thank you page system to deliver the product. You do not have to have a special autoresponder or email system in order to engage your customer and to tell them that they have purchased something and to get them and to keep them excited. You don't have to have any of those things in order to sell using Gumroad. It's got all of those things self-contained. So once again, that's what makes this a unique platform, and it makes it doable for someone who wants to get started. And once you understand how to use it, right, you're going to be able to sell physical and digital products. So it does say that there is a learning curve, which I'll get into, but if you want to sell a digital product and you don't have any of the things that I've talked about, whether it is a payment system, whether you have hosting, whether you don't have some kind of lead pages or any of those things, you can still get started selling a physical or digital product on Gumroad. And so if you are the kind of person that you're new to selling things online, or you just don't have time to fool around and learn all of those things, you can get started selling on Gumroad. That's what really makes the whole process unique. Now, let's take a look at Gumroad for a second. I'm going to give you a bird's eye view of what the platform looks like. So let's say that you had a series of things, right? You can put all of those things in the same place and make your customer aware of all of them. So if you have, a profile system and Gumroad has a profile system, you are going to be able to display all of your products. You're looking at that here where you've got a sample of being able to see all of your products in one place. So if a customer wants to know, hey, what all does this person have? What all do you have available? You can see all those things on Gumroad using their profile system. If you wanted to communicate, right, on a regular basis about the things that you have on your profile, you can do all of those things on your Gumroad system. So for example, you're looking right now at what's called a post. It would be like having a blog post. So again, just think about the fact that, you don't necessarily have a blog. You don't necessarily have to have one. If you want to communicate with your customer about what it is that you're selling or the kind of things that you're selling, you can do all of that on this self-contained system, right? Now, you can direct those messages to people specific to, something that you want them to be or to see. So for example, you're looking here at the way I'm going to designate the post or the email communication. I can send a message to everybody who is following my post, or I can send a post, or I can send an email to individuals that only have bought from me, right? Anytime that I send a message or create a post, I can do all of those things based on the audience that I want to see. And so that's, again, what makes this platform unique. It's really designed for people who need a simplistic system in order to sell products online. Now, again, most of what you sell will be digital. Most of what you sell will be information. However, you can sell physical products using Gumroad also. In particular, those that you are going to do the shipping yourself from your house. Now, you can tell this process. If I show you this, I want you to see here, what's going to happen here is that your customer, if they're going to buy a physical product from you, they're going to be able to come to your Gumroad page. They're going to be able to put in their name, their address, and they're going to be able to put in their credit card details. You're not going to be storing all that information. It's going to be stored all in the Gumroad system. So you don't really have to even worry about all of the issues in terms of privacy and all those things. Gumroad has all those things taken care of in their system. So I want you to think about something that you have where you want to be able to ship it out to someone. It's not just information. You can use Gumroad in order to sell that product. Again, that's what makes this process unique, and the fact that it's very easy in order for you to get started. Now, it's a great platform. I say that with the exception of a few things. First, it will help you to sell, without having a lot of existing tools in place. So again, you don't have to have a page building system. You don't have to have your own blog, even though you should have one. You don't necessarily have to have your own thank you page system, even though you should have those things. You don't have to have your own shopping cart system, even though you should have that stuff. If you just want to get started selling, you don't have any of those things, you haven't really learned a lot about selling online, you can start selling digital products using Gumroad. There are limits that you can use these tools, though, on Gumroad without having an understanding of how they all work, right? Because some of these things actually work together. And when you understand how they work together, you can actually use all of these tools together in order to run, your online business until you get to that point where you want to have and you want to buy some of the more expensive tools. And that's really the beauty of this, right? You can bypass some of those tools and you can grow your prospect list, right? It's really important. While you're trying to figure out exactly how all of this works, you can actually grow a prospect list of people who are not yet ready to buy from you when they meet you, but you want to keep in touch with them until they're ready to buy, and you want to continually keep them updated on what it is you're creating and selling. And really and truly, if you think about all of the aspects of Gumroad, these things are not all obvious in order for you to operate them, in order to get you to do all of these things. There's a learning curve, right? If you understand these basics, you're going to be able to serve your niche by selling and providing them with branded information, right? That's the benefit of all of this. You understand the posting tool, right? You're going to be able to get your customer to get the full value of what you're training them. If you understand all of the profile elements, you're going to be able to make all your products available for sale. I want you to think about, having a product line and making sure your customer knows about that. If you understand all the profile elements of Gumroad, you can make all of those products available. If you understand their messaging system, which I showed you a small part of, you're going to be able to keep your customers and your prospects, and then just people who are just kind of kicking the tires, engaged and interested until they're ready to buy. So now there's a step-by-step over-the-shoulder video course that'll walk you through all of these basics to help you understand all the technical issues and how all of these things work together. And if you want to find out more about it, I'm going to tell you about it here at this link. All you've got to do is to go to this place to get our course, Get Moving Online with Gumroad. It's at harperacademy.com/Gumroad, right? And I do want to talk to resellers and private label rights content users, right? And how you should be thinking about Gumroad. Now, I know you're going to be a little different than somebody who just wants to use the platform in order to sell their product. You may be teaching your customers how to use Gumroad. And so you may be trying to show them how they can use Gumroad, or you may want to have something inside of one of your products to teach them how to use Gumroad. I want to talk about how you should be thinking about Gumroad. Now, technically, and I do want to say this, and when I taught this before, I did not teach this, and I do want to make sure you understand as a reseller. Technically, Gumroad's terms of service prohibits you from reselling a PLR product that you've purchased, right? So it's not the kind of platform that you're going to be able to buy a PLR product and then resell it on the platform. Now, again, I know some people have said they've got different views and variations on this. If you look at the plain reading of their terms of service, they do not want you to do that. Now, again, I know that there are degrees of this. You might want to change it. You might want to say that, hey, it's totally different than the thing that I bought. Understand that. But again, the plain reading of their terms of service state that they do not want you reselling a private label rights product. Now, let's get into this a little deeper. You can sell your products with resale rights. So in other words, if you are the creator and you want to sell a product that has resale rights, the plain reading of the terms of service inside of Gumroad say that you can sell that product. There are no problems with that. There's nothing that says that you cannot. That means then that if the content that you've purchased is the point of the offer, right? So in other words, you buy something and you decide that that's going to be the entirety of the offer, then you're going to be really close to being contrary to their terms, right? And I know at least one person that, that they really did approach them about this. And they said, hey, we're looking to terminate your account because we believe that you're in violation of this term. Now, as a PLR user, quite frankly, you should never be even close to coming up against this, right? In particular, if you're using, the videos that we sell in terms of private label rights, you should never even come close to violating this term. And I'll tell you why that is. Typically, when you're purchasing our videos, for example, what you're purchasing is additional technical instruction, right? And what you're doing when you're buying these, buying the information is you're adding value to a particular product, typically. For example, if you were to use the private label rights from the over-the-shoulder video course that we created on Etsy, right? You would not want to sell that product as an Etsy product on Gumroad, right? So if you just take that product as is, and you say, I'm going to put it on Gumroad as a PLR user, you would not want to use it as a product about Etsy. Now, how would you use it then? Let's talk about how you would think about how you go through this. Let's go through some basic PLR theory. Your job as an information product creator is to solve problems. It's not necessarily it's not necessarily for you to sell a product on Etsy. Right now, when you purchase a course, let's say it's Etsy or any course, right? We just talked about a course that's about e-commerce, right? It's not your job to teach somebody or to sell a product on e-commerce. It's your job to solve a problem. And so what you're doing is you're teaching somebody, let's say, to sell printables, right? Or to learn how to do print on demand, right? That is a problem that you're trying to solve. And if you're trying to solve that problem, you can use our Etsy videos as part of the solution to this problem that you're solving. And the point of the product that you're putting on Gumroad is going to be to sell printables or to teach print on demand. So again, you've got to think about the perspective of the customer and how you're providing them value, right? What is the problem you're trying to solve? And what is the value you're providing them, right? The videos are then going to be needed to make sure the customer can execute the strategy in order to solve the problem. If the problem is for them to figure out how to execute the strategy, they're going to need the videos in order to do that. So you're going to have to build around your product, and you're going to have to build it in order to solve the problem of creating some kind of strategy where it is needed for them to understand the technical part that our videos show them how to do. So how do you make all this relevant to Gumroad, right? Your job is going to be sell strategy solutions, right? And you're going to show your customer how to solve a real business problem. That's what you're doing. For them to solve that problem, they're going to need to understand how to walk step by step through the process. And what you're going to be doing then is you're going to be including technical videos, over-the-shoulder videos by your expert partner, which is us, right? So in other words, your expert partner is going to walk them step by step through a process that they can't execute the strategy without knowing. And so if you're doing this, right, you are keeping the spirit of what Gumroad wants as well as the letter. Right. So again, I mean, I know that you can probably keep the letter, but not keep the spirit. And I'm going to encourage you to think about keeping the spirit of the law and the letter of the law. So let's see. So I've got a question here from Yvette. Hello, Yvette. So if we sell a, okay, yeah. So she says, I'm answering the question. So the spirit is that we are solving a specific problem. And so we're saying that we're going to include the Gumroad videos because if I don't include these videos, you can't understand how to solve the problem and get the strategy that I'm trying to teach you. That's basically what you were saying to your customer. What you don't want to do, in my opinion, this is a great platform. And I don't think you want to be engaging in workarounds that if you had to explain it, that you'd not be credible. Right. So if you're trying to get started on this platform and somebody's going to be looking at your product offering, you don't want to be in that. You don't want to be in that category of trying to explain something to somebody, trying to say, I changed it a little bit and I did these things to it. And it's really not the same product. And, it looks like that, but it's not the same thing. I don't even put yourself in that position. Right. Approach the customer by teaching them something at a higher level strategy. And actually, this is really the best use of PLR, in particular videos anyway, because one of the things that I find people come to the point and they feel as if they've got to change the voice of a technical over-the-shoulder video when you really should not be going through all that. Right. Technically, what you should be doing is you should be explaining a very high level strategy for which it is necessary for them to understand the technical process, which I am explaining in the videos. And so again, now that doesn't mean you mention my name, right? PLR videos do not have my name. They do not have any references to me or anything like that. You shouldn't be mentioning me, but you should be saying that we have a partner that will teach you this technical process. But the point of them buying the product is the strategy. And that is what you bring to the table. And it's also the value that you bring. So what you've got to do is bring the value, and you don't then have to then go through this long drawn out process of re-recording videos. You shouldn't be doing that anyway. Right now, let's talk about if you want to operate outside of the make money online space. I'm still talking to those of you who are resellers. One of the things that Gumroad allows you to do is allows you to have an affiliate program that's going to be separate from the major platforms. So, you can operate. So let me go back and kind of go through this. So typically, if you're going to run an affiliate program, you probably got to go through ClickBank, JVZoo, or Warrior Plus. And again, I love those platforms and I think they're great. If you don't want to operate outside the make money online place, right? If you don't want to operate the make money outside, you want to operate outside make money online, then having an affiliate program is going to be difficult if you use those platforms. You want to be able to use a platform, and Gumroad will allow you to do that. Again, now the other thing is you don't have to have a payment processor. Right? Gumroad has a payment processor, and your customer can use their system, and then you can get the payouts. Now, you're not going to get instant payouts. You're going to get the payouts every 2 weeks or every week. But if you just want to accept, forms of payment from your customer, Gumroad will pay you every other week. Right now. Okay, so Lois's question is, can we simply link to our Etsy shop? I guess you could do that from a post, Lois. You wouldn't do it from a sales page inside of Gumroad. You would do it inside their blogging platform or their post platform, and you could direct a link to people. You could direct a link to your Etsy shop, right? So I'm thinking that what you could do is there's a place for a link inside the product listing, and you could have a product listing and then have a link go to your Etsy shop individually, right? You can also do that from inside of a post. So if you're sending out an email or something like that, you can do that with your prospects. So yes and no. There's no integration with Etsy. I tried to look at how you would do that with Zapier. And what you could do is, I guess one question I would have for you, Lois, is, are you delivering things from your home, or are you delivering from a warehouse? Right. That's one question I would have. So are you delivering your product from your house or from your Etsy shop? And while you do that, I'm going to go forward. You can post your products to the public or the people that specifically follow your Gumroad product or your content, right? That's another advantage. And so basically, you don't have to have your whole business model open to the public, right? You have to do that if you're going to use one of those platforms, because you want transparency if you're going to use JVZoo, Warrior Plus, ClickBank for the sake of your affiliates, right? But you don't have to have that if you're going to use Gumroad. So if you want to teach people how they can start their own simple affiliate marketing business from home, you can teach them how to use Gumroad. Because I know a lot of people, when they're teaching affiliate marketing and they're trying to teach them, how to recruit affiliates, how to set up an affiliate link, you really do run the risk of confusing somebody who's new to internet marketing, that's your student, if you send them straight to JVZoo, Warrior Plus, ClickBank. Right now, again, I mean, those are great platforms, but you may not want to start your students off there. And so if you've got students and you want to teach them how to create a product, you want to teach them how to have an affiliate link for that product, you may want to show them this platform so that they'll then know how to create a product and sell it and recruit affiliates using Gumroad, as opposed to going straight to JVZoo, Warrior Plus, where they're going to be, I think, confused if they're going to be brand new right now. And that goes to my point here, that, the whole shopping cart and affiliate network system can be way too overwhelming for a new person, right? So once again, all this stuff is something that if you are a PLR user and you've got you've got students that you're teaching online marketing, you can teach them this system before you send them straight to some of the other more difficult platforms to use. Okay, so any questions? Any questions? I think, I'm not sure if Lois is still there, but I think my question of Lois was where her warehouse is, right? Any other questions? Now, one thing that I will tell you is that, in our course, we do go through automation. So let's say that you wanted to automate putting somebody from Gumroad into, let's say, your wish list member or your membership, right? We go over that in the advanced course. We also show people how to have, a private member area, right? By selling through Gumroad. So if you do want to do something that's a little more, let's say, a little more complex, we do have that in our advanced course, right? So we do go beyond, the simplistic. You can use Gumroad to sell people into a more complex system. All right, so in our Get Moving with Online with Gumroad product, there is a live strategy session that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to show you the strategies that you're going to be able to implement using Gumroad. There's also going to be a live expert session with a gentleman named Andy Brocklehurst. These are veteran info marketers. And then we're going to give you 20 step-by-step over-the-shoulder videos showing you how to do the basic setup, right? That's what our course really does. We're also going to take you through 11 additional videos. It's an additional hour. It's an advanced course, and they're going to show you some of those things that I just talked about there. And then there's also a resale rights portal. If you want to resell the course, many of you are not going to be able to do that. But if you do, there's a resale rights portal for this course. You're going to be able to do all of this from your desktop and mobile device and your Teachable account. You can get our course at harperacademy.com/Gumroad, right? If you want to learn how to use this platform that we've just been talking about here. Now, if you're a reseller, right? If you are a PLR user, you can get our course from the plrshow.com/GMRD, right? That is our PLR video course. It's for those of you who are resellers, you have online marketers who are students, or they don't have to be online marketers. You have people who are students and they're trying to learn how to sell online. You can use our PLR video course in order to teach people how to use Gumroad. All of our videos do not have personal reference in them. You can use them pretty much without having fear that they'll be tied to us. They won't know that we did it. And it's a great course, great way for you to teach your customers how to use this platform. Now, if you're an internet marketer and reseller, you can get onto our daily newsletter at the plrshow.com. We talk about PLR every single day, how you use it, how you profit with it. The best way to do that, though, is to become one of our ultimate insiders. And that's really the best way for me to help you. It's a way for me to commit to you on a monthly basis. It's a way for me to give you a little more personal instruction. Now, again, it's not going to be the kind of thing where you and I are going to be pen pals and I got to, you got to talk to me every day. It's not that kind of thing, but you do have more access to me and Laurel, and we will help you to build your online business. You can do that at theplrshow.com/insider trainer. You do get one full funnel of our PLR videos every single month. That's for you to be able to take and resell as a reseller. And basically what we're helping you to do is to position yourself in any market or niche as an educator, right? So you'll be able to not necessarily, you don't have to be the expert. You don't have to be under all that pressure. You don't have to be, the end all be all. All you've got to do is position yourself as an educator. And we're going to give you the resources to do that, and our Ultimate Insider program. One thing I do want to tell you about is we talked about that there is a PLR course that was released today, depending on when you're watching this. Our colleague Francis Ochako, he has released a course on e-commerce. We added 3 bonus PLR courses to that. You'll get that at the checkout. You can get that at plrshow.com/Francis O. Now, if this has benefited you in any way, that you like this training and it's helped you, please do us a favor. Go to the plrshow.com/shout, right? And just give us a shout out there. Okay, so Lois's question. See, Lois has got her answer. Okay, so if you were promoting t-shirts on Etsy, can you post them on Gumroad, but they buy them over at my Etsy shop? Let's see. I think, let's take a look at this here. Let's take a look at this here. Let's take a look and see if we can just kind of go in here. Let's go in here for a second. Let's go into our products. Let's create a new product. Let's do a classic product. Let's call it Lois. Lois's t-shirt. And let's sell the t-shirt for $27. We're going to say that this product contains a physical product, right? So let's do that. And let's say awesome t-shirt from Lois. All right. Okay, so we'll skip the thumbnail, right? We'll skip the thumbnail. And let's see. We can upload the cover image from an external website. We can add details. Okay, so that's an attribute. We can price it. Okay, so if we had this product, Lois, we would not be able to necessarily link to the product here. Right, what we could do is we can use, there is an integration. I'm actually going to do a video on this, but Printful Gumroad, there is a Gumroad integration. So what you could do is you can do a integration with Printful, right? That's a way to do it. So they have a direct integration with Printful. I don't think that they have a direct integration with Etsy. Because what I tried to do was to see if you could do a Zapier, right? Where, you maybe do a Zapier. And let's see if we can do a, okay, so let's say we did a Gumroad and then we did So we did a Gumroad, and we do a Zapier, and Etsy. Right? I don't think you can do Gumroad to Etsy. You can do Gumroad and Printful, but Gumroad to Printful, you can't use Zapier to do that. You have to use the Printful integration. Right? And I think that Printful integration is set up through Printful. So if you're gonna do print on demand with Gumroad, you have to use Printful, Lois. So if maybe you're selling something from Printful, from Etsy via Printful, you can also do that on Gumroad. Right? Does that make sense, Lois? So yeah, so you can't connect Gumroad to Etsy unless you did it from your profile. So what you could do is you could post something, and let's see. We could post something from here. We could do a new post. We could send it out to everybody. We could say Lois's awesome t-shirts. Now again, I don't know if this is against their terms of service. So you can't link to someplace. So I could say, here are Lois's shirts. Technically, you could do a destination URL, but I don't know if that you're going to have to look and see as to whether or not that's against their terms. I'm going to send you. I'm going to put their terms of service, Gumroad, into the chat box here, and yeah, you may want to take a look, and let's see, take a look at their terms and make sure that's something you can do. Right, so I'm going to put those there. I'm also going to put in here prohibited. Right, here they're here the prohibited terms. I'll put those there. But technically you could do a post. I don't know if that's, again, it's kind of like not the spirit of what they want you to do, Lois. I mean, they obviously want you to create your products there, and to sell them using their platform. So I mean, that's obviously what they want you to do. Now, whether or not you're going to be able to put something there and then send them to Etsy via a link, yeah, just I would be a little nervous about that. All right, but good question. Any other questions? Right. Yeah. That's kind of my feeling about that, Jason. I feel pretty much like they sort of want you to use their platform. But if you're using Printful in order to fulfill it, right, you can just use their integration. Right. And there may be other ways to fulfill and make a connection. One way to look at whether or not there's some other ways to fulfill is to test it, right? And all you've got to really do is to, use Zapier and Gumroad, and then put in the other platform you want to use. So, if there's another platform that you want to integrate, just test it to see if Zapier, is a connection. Because actually, if you try to connect Gumroad and Printful with Zapier, then they don't connect because there's a direct integration. Okay, so any other questions? Okay, everybody. Well, thanks for everybody for hanging out with us here. I appreciate you all being out here. And we are going to take off for the evening. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care. Jason, yes, it is being recorded, and it'll be on our YouTube channel. And in terms of the presentation, the presentation will be available to the Ultimate Insiders in order to use, right? And then but this will be on our YouTube channel. Okay, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us here.